Hey, did you have any messages for the team before or after practice as far as how to approach the rest of the season?
Yeah, I mean, we're not where we want to be with the standings, but we're committed to the stretch run, and the key with all of the playoff participants is to be playing your best basketball and peaking at the right time, and that opportunity is still well within reach, and we got to use these final 24 games to achieve that.
Frank, LeBron had comments that kind of dominated All-Star Weekend about, leaving the door open to possibly going back to Cleveland and certainly seeming open to ending his career somewhere other than here. There's other stuff that you know about, but I'm curious if that amount of noise made it hard for you to separate and kind of get away for All-Star and get kind of the reset that you're looking for going into the break.
No, I've learned to let the noise be noise and focus on what's in front of me, which if that's winning the next game, that's one thing. If it's focusing on my family and the break, I enjoyed the break with my family, so that's just noise.
Did you address those comments and sort of that noise with your team today?
No, not at all.
Is it obviously LeBron went to All-Star and is trying to squeeze more out of this break, but is it awkward at all given sort of those developments over the weekend with LeBron not here today?
Not even a little bit. We understand that he had a big weekend, being back home in Cleveland, not just a normal All-Star weekend. We always give guys a little extra time if they need it, and nothing more than that.
Frank, were you able to take a step back? I know spend time with family, but also kind of reflect on where you guys are at currently and sort of what changes or adjustments you want to make kind of moving forward?
Yeah, well, we have a unique challenge. Typically, you come out of break looking at your team's analytics and areas you need to improve upon, and things like that. And we have the unique challenge of we lost Anthony Davis the last game of the pre-break before All-Star break. So our conversations are really more about who we want to be, and the style of play, what our identity is going to be over this stretch. And that was a big focus of our meeting and in practice today.
How does that affect how you're going to use Dwight and DeAndre down the stretch?
Well, we're going to need them more, a lot more now than, obviously when AD was, using up a lot of the center minutes. So, we're going to need both of those guys.
Speaking of what's in front of you, from what was in front of us in the time we were in the gym, we saw Kendrick Nunn out there, we saw Melo out there, we saw Avery on the sideline, and we didn't see Anthony. Could you give me updates on all four of those guys?
Yeah, so Avery's out, still day-to-day, but he's going to be out for tomorrow. Melo is back and is probable for tomorrow night, so we're hopeful he'll be back in there. He did participate in full practice. K. Nunn is, coming out of the break, going to ramp up his work again and see how the knee responds, but will still remain out. And who's the fourth guy?
Just Anthony. Will you expect him to be around you?
Yeah, AD's here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was here today. Moving around gingerly without crutches, but obviously it's going to be a long road for him.
Frank, what worked when you had LeBron playing the five, and it seemed like he and Russ were developing some chemistry in that stretch without AD back in January? How deep do you go back into those games and try to drill some of those things or go over the film?
Yeah, we've done a lot of just studying the film and the analytics of that stretch when Anthony was out, and things that worked and things that didn't work. And there's some things we're comfortable with going forward. Obviously, a lot of lessons learned during that stretch, and hopefully we can be a little better than we were during that stretch. There was some real positives with how we played small and Bron playing center. Whether that becomes a full-time thing, it's probably better to be more of a hybrid of using that lineup in doses. But definitely, we definitely looked at that stretch of our season to evaluate, who we're going to be going forward.
How much? I'm interested in the ability to have a normal All-Star break, which can just be a time to get away. Did you have to spend more time at the office, so to speak, over this break because the first half of the season ended with such a major development with AD being out?
I would say I started a day sooner.
Okay.
You know what I mean, with regard to that thought process. I spent much of Wednesday, just looking at numbers and looking at some film, watching the second half of the Utah game where we played without Anthony, and just just putting some thought into, what we have to look like coming out of the stretch. But up until then, I was able to, just kind of unwind and be with my family.
And did you establish a goal with this team going forward? And what was that? You didn't, why not?
Win as many games as we can. We know exactly where we're at in the standings. We're 6 back from the 6th spot. We're 3.5 back from the 7th spot. We're 1.5 back from the 8th spot. We know that the goal would be to get to the top 6. And that's a long shot, but still within reach. If we come out strong, and if we're not able to get that, then get in that first play-in game. The first play-in game is double elimination. The 9-10 game is single elimination. So every game's going to matter. We want to move up as much as we can in the standings, but more importantly than all of that, we want to play our best basketball down the stretch and peak going into those playoffs series or games.
And on that note, is it helpful that you have the 8th place team, the Clippers, twice the next week?
Sure, and we played Denver twice, I think, and we still have Minnesota. So those teams that are in front of us, those games will carry extra importance.
Also, just shifting a little bit, you alluded after the Jazz game, you saw AD and he was frustrated about everything, I think is what you said. And today, when you see him in the building, did you sense that any change in energy? Do you sense the frustration still there?
Yeah, I don't want to disclose too much of the personal conversation, but he wants to be on the floor with his teammates, and it's disappointing anytime he can't be. So, I don't know if I want to say anything deeper than that, but that's where it's at.